Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Jose's Totally Rad Life. Today I wanted to show you guys my He-Man and She-Ra collection. 2025 marks 40 years of She-Ra, and a couple years ago was 40 years of He-Man. I also wanted to pay tribute to John Irwin, the late John Irwin, who voiced the original He-Man. So without further ado, here is my He-Man and She-Ra collection.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In the two worlds of Eternia and Etheria, there is one who commands the power. He-Man. Now, for the first time ever on the motion picture screen, He-Man and your favorite Masters of the Universe characters in a brand new adventure, leading the rebellion into the greatest battle of all time. And introducing She-Ra, Princess of Power, his long-lost sister.
He-Man, catch!
He-Man and She-Ra, united at last, following their destiny to a distant world. Fighting for freedom in a treacherous land. Unleashing their power on the most evil forces ever to menace the universe.
Together we'll make life miserable for those Eternian fools.
Just like the old days.
The fire. The fury. The fantasy. This is the dawn of the most incredible adventure of all. He-Man and She-Ra in The Secret of the Sword.
Alright, the first figure that we have is Man-E-Faces from the Masters of the Universe collection.
Who are you?
I'm Man-E-Faces with the power to change from man to robot to monster!
Oh, no!
He-Man, He-Man!
He-Man sold separately.
Hi, old friend. Hi.
He-Man, he's your friend?
Friend and ally. He's just kind of weird sometimes.
In specially marked packages, Man-E-Faces comes with 5 extra weapons. He-Man and Man-E-Faces each sold separately. Part of the Masters of the Universe collection. From Mattel.
So, here in the Masters of the Universe collector's case, we have Man-E-Faces, as well as the original mini-comic, The Ordeal of Man-E-Faces. This is the original comic book that he came with in 1982. You can see Man-E-Faces there, human, robot, monster, He-Man and Zor, Ram-Man, Trapjaw, and Triclops. And I kept the card back from Christmas. I got this December 25th of 2020. I got it from my grandpa. And that is a look at what Man-E-Faces would have looked like back in the 80s, with the mini comic behind him and the classic Masters of the Universe packaging. And here's a look at the back artwork. It says, modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures, Masters of the Universe Origins gives you the power to pose Eternia's greatest warriors as retro-style figures in new action-packed battle positions. And it shows you turn in that his face, that's his human face. Turn the head again and he's a robot. And then turn the head again and he's a monster. So that is Man-E-Faces. Coming up next, it's Ram Man from the Masters of the Universe collection.
Open the jaw bridge.
The powers of evil control Castle Grayskull.
Oh yeah, Dad, watch Ram Man's power. I'll get us inside, He-Man.
Ram Man, He-Man, and Castle Grayskull, each sold separately. You have to put the castle together.
Ram Man, use your head. I just did. Not that way. We have a prisoner.
Good. Who's the prisoner?
You are, because we have the power.
Oh, no.
Ram Man and He-Man from the Masters of the Universe collection, each sold separately. Castle Grayskull also sold separately from Mattel.
Here we have Ram Man from the Masters of the Universe collection. It says heroic human battering ram. And here's the figure. He does have that original spring-loaded leg action by pressing him down. And here's a look at the artwork on the back. It's just gorgeous and so vibrant and popping with color. It says, Powerhouse Ram Man uses his head in battle, bowling down enemies and destroying weapons. And it says, modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures. Masters of the Universe Origins gives you the power to pose Eternia's greatest warriors as a retro-style figure or in new action-packed battle positions. So there's a look at Ram Man. It says push down to lock into launch position. Push again to spring into action. And twist into powerful battle positions. And it shows you Battle Armor He-Man, Clamp Champ Ram Man, Battle Armor Skeletor, and Panther. Coming up next, it's Prince Adam and Orko from the Masters of the Universe collection.
With He-Man gone, the magic of Orko will be mine. Prince Adam, we gotta get out of here now!
Skeletor, Orko, Prince Adam, and He-Man figures, each sold separately.
Help! Help, Prince Adam! Looks like a job for He-Man. Trick's on you, bone face! Yarg!
Prince Adam and Orko with Coin Trick, new from the Masters of the Universe collection, each sold separately. Other action figures also sold separately from Mattel.
And here is Prince Adam and Orko from the Masters of the Universe collection. Coming up next is Moss Man from the Masters of the Universe collection.
Moss Man.
Moss Man is green, so I can't be seen. Ha ha ha!
He-Man, Moss Man, Skeletor, and Triclops figures, each sold separately.
Look, He-Man's alone. It's 2 against 1. Wrong, bone face. It's 2 against 2. Moss Man fooled you. Yarg!
Moss Man, new from the Masters of the Universe collection. Other action figures, each sold separately from Mattel.
So here we have Moss Man from the Masters of the Universe collection from Mattel in his collector's edition box. And the figure smells like pine. Very, very colorful and vibrant, beautiful artwork. There's a look at the artwork on the side as well. Well, there's not much there. And then you got this really gorgeous artwork here on the back of Moss Man. Also featured in the Mossman commercial was Triclops. I remember my sister Miranda getting Triclops for me, as well as Beastman, and I got them both on Christmas morning. So that's a look at Mossman and Triclops. And really quick, here is a look at the gorgeous artwork on the back of Triclops. It says, Triclops' multiple vision modes and optic attacks make him a dangerous soldier in Skeletor's army. You got Zoar up there, as well as Screech. And you have He-Man and Battle Cat right there. So it says, modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures. And there it says, turned visor for different eye to spy for Skeletor, as well as twist into powerful battle positions. So when I got him on Christmas morning, immediately right out of the box, I went to rotate his eye, and this little black piece on the top came off, thus separating his visor from his face. And here's a look at that Triclops figure. And see how I had to hot glue that back on? I'm not opening up the other Triclops figure. It's staying in the box. Coming up next, the 40th anniversary edition of Triclops from the Masters of the Universe collection.
Halt or face the evil hook of Trapjaw!
Trapjaw, Battle Cat, and He-Man, each sold separately, string not included.
That hook won't stop He-Man! And Trapjaw will use his vicious claw! Still no contest. And Trapjaw will use his wicked laser! Even a one-armed army can't stop He-Man and Battle Cat! You win this time, He-Man!
Trapjaw figure from the Masters of the Universe collection. He-Man and Battle Cat figures, each sold separately. From Mattel.
And here he is for the 40th anniversary of He-Man, Trapjaw. Says modern posing retro play. So look at the artwork on the back. The cybernetic criminal can literally arm himself with any weapon he needs for battle. And there's a look at Trapjaw, Ram Man, and He-Man. And you can see the hook, or you can see the thing on the top of his head where you feed the string through and he slides down. And here you can see modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures. Masters of the Universe Origins gives you the power to pose Eternia's greatest warriors as retro-style figures in new action-packed battle positions. Plug laser gun, hook, or pinchers into arm. Open and close the jaw for biting action. And here is He-Man, Man-E-Faces, Orko, Skeletor, Trapjaw, and Scareglow. And here's a side-by-side comparison of the original 1982 figure. This one is my dad's. Compared to Trapjaw figure 40 years later. How many of you out there who grew up in the 80s remember this 1982 flocked edition of Battle Cat, essentially, for Skeletor, called Panther? Up next, I'm going to show you guys my flocked Panther from Masters of the Universe Origins. So here we have new for 2021 in its modern retro box. I love the fact that Masters of the Universe has come back to retail after so long. Because for the longest time, Masters of the Universe had moved exclusively to being online only with, I believe, the Super 7 toy line. But to see it back at retail, just like how it was back in 1982, it's really exciting for me. My dad gets to relive his childhood, and I get to experience Masters of the Universe, and what that must have been like for my dad when he was growing up, since they have brought it back to retail. Here's a picture of the gorgeous artwork of Skeletor and Panther and Screech. You can see the texture in this beautiful rendering of Panther. I mean, look at the detail in his mouth. I mean, the teeth and the tongue. And look at his eyes. They're just popping. Panther, savage cat, an awesome, fearless fighter, removable armor, and carries Skeletor into battle. And here you can see He-Man riding Battle Cat into battle against Panther there, and you got Castle Grayskull in the background with the ghost of Castle Grayskull, and you got Teela riding what looks to be some kind of horse unicorn type thing. And here's a look at the retro modern posing Panther Flocked Edition. Was only available at Walmart, and it says realistic fur in the collector's edition box. Now, they had two different versions of this. One of them was just bare bones plastic, and I hadn't found the flocked version yet, and so I was just gonna opt for the plastic one. And my dad was like, no, don't do that. Don't take the cheaper route, be patient, because on my channel and, with my 80s collection, I try to be as authentic as I possibly can. And my dad was like, there was no plastic version of Panther that was like Battle Cat, except just purple. He's like, the one that people had back in the 80s was flocked. And he's like, that's the one you want. And so here we have flocked Panther. Here's a look at the side of the box. The name of this character and the things that he says have aged very poorly. This character's name is Fisto, and yeah, his catchphrase was, "I'm going to give this guy my fist." Has not aged well at all. And here you got some strange looking dragon creatures. And here you have fiercely obedient to Skeletor, Panther carries his nefarious master into combat. And here's a look at Panther carrying Skeletor, battle armor Skeletor, into combat. You got gorgeous artwork back there in the background of a volcano exploding. And you got battle armor He-Man, and there's Man-at-Arms in the background charging into battle against Skeletor. And there you have Castle Grayskull. Modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures. Masters of the Universe Origins gives you the power to pose Eternia's greatest warriors as retro-style figures or in new action-packed battle positions. Here's a look at the box, and it says remove battle armor and twist into powerful battle positions. And you got Heroic Warriors battle armor, He-Man, She-Ra, Roboto, Zodak, and Battle Cats. And Evil Warriors are battle armor Skeletor, Merman, and Panther. That is a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Panther. Coming up next, who remembers Point Dread and the Talon Fighter with storybook and record from the Masters of the Universe line? Coming up next is Point Dread and the Talon Fighter.
Here comes Point Dread and the Talon Fighter, including adventure book and story record with sound effects. Action figures sold separately.
Let's hear He-Man and Skeletor on the Point Dread story.
I, Skeletor, will finally defeat He-Man!
I'll use the Talon Fighter to stop Skeletor!
In a flash, He-Man's hurled through space and time.
Surrender to the power of Point Dread's Talon Fighter!
You win, He-Man, but I'll be back!
Point Dread and the Talon Fighter with record and storybook. You have to put it together. Action figures sold separately from Mattel.
And here we have the new Point Dread and Talon Fighter Mystical Outpost and Flying Vehicle. And you got Faker and Trapjaw and Rotons going up against He-Man and Zodak in the Talon Fighter. You got a picture there. It says Rugged Frontier Outpost, Talon Fighter for winged combat, and Battle Station high atop the castle. Action figures and castle sold separately. Here you got a gorgeous image of Castle Grayskull right there. And there is Point Dread in the Talon Fighter. You got Beastman, Triclops, Man-at-Arms, Mossman, or not Mossman, Merman, and Skeletor. And it's really exciting for me because no longer do I have to try and hunt down the original vintage line, but since they've brought back Masters of the Universe to retail, I can just go to retail and pick it up, right now, instead of having to painstakingly track it down. So look at the side of the box. And here's a look at the back of the box. You got He-Man right there, Zodak, Skeletor. It says, with the mighty Talon Fighter perched atop Castle Grayskull, the mysterious Point Dread raveled through time and space before Sorceress merged it to Castle Grayskull. Here you got He-Man and Teela in the Talon Fighter, as well as Naked Stratos. Ew. Here you have Battle Armor Skeletor, King Randor, Samurai, Snakeface, Snake Teela, and Snake Trooper. And here on the side of the box, you can see Evil-Lyn riding Panther. into battle against Teela on Battle Cat. So here you have the product in hand, Point Dread and the Talon Fighter, and that when you get it new from the store, this is everything that it comes with. It does not come with the record. It does not come with the storybook. It just comes in the box, the instructions, and Point Dread and the Talon Fighter. But guess what I found on the bookshelf while at my grandpa's house? It is the original from 1982, The Power of Point Dread storybook. And then, so there's two stories within this book. There's The Power of Point Dread and Danger at Castle Grayskull. Here is a look at the back. Now, when I got this book and Masters of the Universe Origins was coming to retail, all I wanted was to get all of the figures featured here. So I wanted He-Man, I wanted Man-at-Arms, Stratos, Teela, Man-E-Faces, and Ram-Man, and I wanted to have Skeletor, Beastman, Merman, Trapjaw, and Triclops. And since then, since Christmas of 2020, I can gladly say, thanks to all that were involved, that I have accomplished that and that I have all of these figures. And you guys are going to see all of those figures joined together when I give you a tour of my room here in the future. Up next, who remembers the Land Shark toy from Masters of the Universe? This is a picture of the 1980s version. I want you guys to take a good look at that picture, because what I'm about to show you basically looks exactly like that, but recreated in 2021.
Land Shark.
The mighty Land Shark will have Mechanic for lunch. Yikes! Help! And He-Man for dessert. Help!
Land Shark. Land Shark.
Help! He-Man!
Land Shark.
Ever a lockjaw? Land Shark?
Land Shark vehicle is new from the Masters of the Universe collection. Not for use with some figures. Action figures, each sold separately. From Mattel.
New for 2021. Here we have the Land Shark. You got Clawful and Trapjaw there in the background, and you got a gorgeous picture of Snake Mountain. Here's a absolutely gorgeous picture of Skeletor riding the Land Shark. And here is the product in hand in stunning HD. I kept saying in stunning 4K in my previous videos, but these videos aren't being taken in 4K. But it is, however, in HD. They did not have high definition videos in the 80s, so here you go. On the side here it says Land Shark. And there you got Fisto, Man-at-Arms, Triclops, and Stinkor against Battle Armor Skeletor. And it says, the ravaging Land Shark side-mounted lasers and snapping jaws destroy everything in its path. And new for 2021, you can see Castle Grayskull. I never did see Castle Grayskull at retail. Here's a look at all the figures. I'm not going to read them off for figures and vehicles. But that is a look at the Land Shark. And really quickly here, before I show you guys She-Ra for the 40th anniversary, here are some of my original Masters of the Universe comics. You got He-Man, or Prince Adam in the Slime Pit, and you can see Orko right there. And since this is a 40th anniversary celebration of She-Ra, there you can also see the Evil Horde. You got the Blaster Hawk, which I do have. It's somewhere in my closet. I'm not going to get it out right now. You got Orko and Battle Cat, He-Man. You got Ninjor and He-Man, and you got that comic book.
This is Princess Adora, sister of He-Man, and her gentle horse. Each sold separately, you can pretend.
She's lovely as a flower, but she has a secret power. A magic sword in one stroke, and she's got the strength of a tower. She-Ra, Princess of Power. The fate of the world's in the hands of one beautiful girl. Princess of Power.
She-Ra doll Princess of Power comes with everything you see here. Swiftwind horse sold separately, new from Mattel.
And lastly, for the 40th anniversary, here we have from the Princess of Power line, She-Ra, the most powerful woman in the universe, otherwise known as Adam's sister. So there's a look at She-Ra. And here on the back, She-Ra protects the Whispering Woods and all of Etheria from the attack of Hordak and the Evil Horde. Here you got a picture showing that you can put on the cape, turn around the helmet to become She-Ra, and twist into powerful battle positions. This completes the Masters of the Universe collection. What are you guys' memories of He-Man and She-Ra? Let me know in the comments down below. Please remember to like this video, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Bye-bye.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.